Are you feeling like your characters might be a little bit flat? Today we're diving into how to write compelling, interesting characters that come alive on the page. And they don't have to be perfect. That's the good news, because none of us are perfect. We're going to look at examples from the best-selling novel, The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I'm Kim Purcell. I'm a published novelist. This is a Busy Writer Workshop. Let's get going. Step 1, embody your main character. Close your eyes and step into your character's body. Don't just watch them, become them. Once you become them, you'll be able to give those descriptions and those thoughts and opinions from within their body through their emotional experience. For example, in that first scene in The Fourth Wing, Violet's walking across a very slippery bridge, a dangerous bridge, where many people die on their way to get into the Dragon Rider's quadrant. We are with her every step because we're in her body. And why? Because Rebecca Yarros wrote from within the character's body. This is what I like to call method writing. It's kind of like method acting. Actors imagine that they are the character. They become the character, even if they're not shooting. So that's kind of what I want you to start thinking about. How can you become this character a little bit, at least while you're writing? By immersing yourself like this, you're going to take the reader along for the ride. Readers want to escape their lives. They want to be able to forget about the rest of their lives and get into your story. So that's your first job. Step 2, show, don't tell. Now you're going to write down what they actually experience. What are they stepping on? What are they touching? Breathe in through their nose. What are they smelling? What are their thoughts based on their past, all their experiences in their life? You don't want to just say, Violet saw the slippery bridge. That would be super boring, right? Instead, get into her body, show the slippery bridge under her feet. This is how Rebecca Yarros does it. The stones beneath my feet are uneven in places, held together by mortar in the joints that make it easy to trip, and I concentrate on the path ahead of me to keep my eyes off my boots. My muscles are tight as I lock my center of gravity, keeping my posture upright. Your main character is going to observe things in a different way from how other people observe things. A lot of the humor and a lot of those sparkly moments in a story come from the observations. What are the specific things that your character notices? How do they see the world? Have you ever been walking with someone and they say, hey, did you see that? And then you're like, no, I didn't even see that. I don't tend to notice things like signs or buildings, but I will notice people. So we all notice different things. What about your character? Step 3. Develop your character's voice. So how do you do it? Well, you got to add opinions, add thoughts, and don't make those thoughts or opinions repetitive in terms of the description or dialogue. They have to be new. They have to be reactions to what they're experiencing. You have to know that character very well. So that's your main character. Of course, you want all your characters to be multi-layered in the same way. But the first step is really getting to know that main character. A strong character voice will hook the reader immediately. Are they sarcastic, blunt, funny, goofy? What is their voice? And let that show. Infuse humor. Give some personality there, maybe sarcasm. Every book you've ever loved, it's because it had a strong narrative voice. This is what's going to make your protagonist unforgettable. That main character is who we're going to have to bond to. Violet's humor in The Fourth Wing is dry and situational. Her sarcasm shows her personality and makes her relatable. Her sister says, you can't even handle your rucksack. And she says, I'm fine. My cheeks heat with mortification and I force myself upright. She's been back for 5 minutes and she's already trying to save me. Because you need saving, you fool. We get these thoughts in the character's perspective and it's kind of sarcastic, funny. We like her right away. Step 4, give them a strength. Violet's strength is her intelligence. She's crazy smart. And in fact, she uses that in every scary situation. She uses it as she's crossing the bridge to repeat facts in her head so she doesn't think about her fear. So what unusual skill does your character have? What can you do to show that they're brilliant at something? Step 5, what are their weaknesses? Usually people are fine with adding the strengths, but not so great with adding the weakness. And Rebecca Yarros does this on the first page. Violet's big weakness is she's not as strong as other people. She has an actual issue with her joints and her ligaments. They pop out. She easily breaks bones. She's smaller than any of the other riders. She's not as muscular. Even on the first page, she's climbing these steps, and this is what it says. This is what 6 months of intense physical training has given me. The ability to barely climb 6 flights of stairs with a 30-pound pack. And then we realize she's not exaggerating because as she goes up, she hears her mom and her sister arguing. And this is what her sister says. You're sending her to die. So we know that the stakes are high, that this character really is pretty physically weak. She's not perfect. So remember that. You need to show your character's weakness, their flaws, their fears, their insecurities. If you do that, we're going to love them because we all have those. Violet not only has this weakness, she also has the strength. She is a brilliant scholar, but she's in a dragon rider's world. So we have this fabulous contrast between her and the other riders. Step 6, add quirks, add weirdness. Think to yourself, how do they contrast with their world? How can you highlight that? Think of any strange habits they might have. Anything that makes them different. We all have different types of habits. We think they're not weird, but then we'll talk to someone and we'll find out, what? You put milk in your bowl before you add the cereal? What? You only have a shower once a week? We all have strange things, so you have to dive into this character. What did they do that's unusual? Try to put your own interesting weirdness into that particular character. Step 7, give them a save the cat moment. This is very important because we need to know that they have an inner kindness, something good about them. And right away, we get that with Violet. She's waiting to go onto this deadly bridge, and she sees this other girl who has bad shoes for the situation. She knows, based on her sister who told her, your boots are not good enough. And her sister is also kind. We really see that because she's made her a special outfit out of dragon scales, so she's going to be protected. And also her sister gets her these shoes. This other girl also is going to have a real problem. She looks down at her shoes and they're not good. And then she asks this, what size are your feet? They're not the same size. But Violet offers to trade one of her boots for the other girl's boot so that the other girl will have some kind of stable base. This is what she says. These are rider boots. They'll grip the stone better. Your toes will be scrunched and generally miserable, but at least you'll have a shot of not falling off if that rain hits. Rhiannon glances toward the open door and the darkening sky, then back at me. You're willing to trade a boot? Just until we get to the other side. We all understand the risk here. This means Violet is actually in a lot more danger because she's small. She's not as strong. She now has a greater chance of slipping, but yet she does it anyway, even despite the personal risk to herself. That is an example of a save the cat moment. Something heroic, something kind. Think of how you can add that to your story. Rhiannon becomes a close friend throughout the story. And that all starts from this moment of kindness. Step 8. Write dialogue that reflects character. Dialogue is one of the most powerful tools for character development. Violet always has a quick wit in responding to other characters. She's smart, so the dialogue is smart. How can you add that to your book? Make sure that dialogue isn't repetitive in terms of reflecting the thoughts. It should be fresh. We shouldn't be hearing stuff we already know. Of course, you have thoughts and opinions for your main character, but the dialogue is what's going to show all the other characters, their humor, their intelligence, their own save the cat moments. Pay attention to how the characters speak. Are they blunt? Do they blab on? Are they sarcastic? Are they funny? Are they gross? Whatever they are, reflect that in the dialogue. Also remember their emotions. We speak differently when we have different emotions. So make sure you know how everyone's feeling. And that's it, everyone. That's 8 steps to develop your character. We've covered everything from embodying your character to adding quirks, humor, strengths, weaknesses, and basic core elements of their humanity. Dive into your characters and have a lot of fun. If you found this useful, hit subscribe, hit like, and share this video. Let me know in the comments What's the weirdest quirk you've given a character? Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Kim Purcell. We'll see you next time.